What's up, horror fam?
You know what time it is. Let's get into this. Holy shit, for a couple guys that ain't done that in a month, man, we pulled it off.
That was better than we usually do.
We pulled it off. We pulled it off. Hell yeah.
What's up, horror fam? We know it's been forever. We apologize.
Yeah. We've been slacking.
Well,
and,
you know, the month of December is busy for me with work.
Excuses.
I had anal bifida for a week.
I had anal glaucoma. I couldn't see my ass going to work.
But anyways, guys, it's fucking awesome to be back. You know,
yeah, hell yeah.
I just walked in. It's going to be a great show, guys, because not only do we have, you know, me and JT haven't really talked and haven't been on this podcast in a month, but we also have a very special guest.
Been a month of fucking Sundays.
Yes. One of our very good friends and horror fam member, and, you know, you guys all know him and love him. We have Mr. D.A. Roberts in the house.
What's up, D.A.?
What's up, guys? Where's the music? You guys did the one, let's get into this, but there was no freaking music. What's going on?
Where's the music, man?
Well, I guess I could have done something here.
Hey,
Just a little disappointed. It's gotta have to have
That's crickets. I'm sorry.
crickets.
Here, what about this one?
That's a shit. That's
There you
Ryan
go.
getting
There's
out
your
of the
music,
shower,
buddy.
right?
So, as you guys can tell, we got D.A. Roberts in the house, man. How you been, sir? How you been?
I'm about to say, you know, work, sleep, repeat. So it's an endless cycle.
Yes.
Dude, you have been a busy guy. I've seen a lot of your stuff online. You are tearing it up, dude.
I'm trying, man. You got to keep that daily grind going if you want to make it as a writer.
Yeah, well, man. Apparently Ryan and I aren't going to make it because we haven't been grinding at all.
Well, you know, man, it's crazy.
Hey, no, seriously.
But I don't know why.
Well, you know, I was grinding a pole or,
Knuckle grinding.
But, yeah, and we apologize for that. We just, you know, Ryan's been real busy. I've been real busy. The holidays is kind of a tough time for us.
And then sick, too. I mean,
yeah, Ryan, you know, he's been sick all his life. And that's why I like him. But you know, no, we've just had a lot of stuff going on. It's crazy. I've had a lot of people reach out to me here lately. One of my buddies that it's funny, it's actually my buddy Jim Hicks. Hey, Jim.
Hello, Jim.
Jim is a longtime friend of mine, and we play music together for, 20-something years. And he said, you know what? He goes, man, I ain't heard a show from you guys in a while. And I'm like, well, we got something coming up that I think you'll like. Because he told me not too long ago, he goes, man, some of my favorite shows are the ones you guys do with DA. Awesome. And so here you go, Jim. Here's DA for you, buddy.
Hey, Jim, thanks for the request. I'm always down like 4 flat tires to hang out with these two guys.
Yeah, man. And you know, it's, I was telling my wife, it's funny. She's like, well, you need to go record. You guys haven't recorded forever. I'm like, yeah, I know. And then, like,
because he doesn't like me anymore.
Well, I was getting a hold of JT, and then I actually got a hold of him. I was like, hey, man, you know, what do you think about recording? And then it ended up happening that something came up, and I was like, shit, I can't record that day. And he's like, good, because I'm kind of getting over something, trying to. And I'm like, okay. And then literally the next week, I get fucking sick.
Yeah, and it wasn't my fault because I wasn't even around your ass.
Yeah, it's just going around, you know. But I feel amazing now. You know, honestly, I've been getting up so. Not that people really give a shit, but I'm gonna tell you anyway.
You look amazing too.
Well, I was gonna tell you, I get up every day at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, I like the beard.
Yeah. Well, I'm getting up at 3 o'clock every day.
You should feel it on your balls.
Yes, it feels amazing. I do it myself. But
is that an invitation?
Just got to make the trip. Nothing but air and opportunity. But no, I've been getting up at like 3 in the morning. I get up at 3 in the morning every day. I get to the gym about 3:30. I'm down 21 pounds in 2 months.
Jesus.
Hey, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, I've been.
Motherfucker's going to disappear here pretty soon.
I'm still 2 something. I'm still 2 something to do something. But you got to be two something to do something, as they say.
Goddamn, I'm a lot of two somethings. I'm doing a lot, buddy. I'm doing a lot.
I'm right there with you, brother.
But yeah, so I feel good. I just man, I've been doing some mental changing and stuff, and I'm just I was super stoked about getting and recording again because I miss this shit. I miss hanging out with JT. I miss talking to everybody. And even though it's been a month only, it's just something that once it's in your blood, you kind of you miss it. And you wanna do it.
I mean, and it's crazy because we were pretty used to talking to each other every week. And now, we still talk every week, but it's more like we do short conversations so that when we get together, we've got a lot more to fucking bitch at each other about.
But then I was like, we've been actually planning on trying to get you on the show forever, again, of course. And I was like, you know what? There's a couple people I want to reach out to, and you were one of them, and you were the first one to be like, yeah, cool, let's do it. And I was like, all right.
Hell yeah.
When your schedule settles down after the holidays, I need to get you guys back on our show.
Definitely.
And that's,
especially after the first of the year, once shit calms down for him, and we'll be all over it.
Yeah, man,
all over it like a cheap suit.
Yes, and that's something I will talk about later on. But I definitely want to get to a convention.
Like a fat kid on a seesaw.
Yeah. Oh, we'd be down.
Yeah, man, I just want to get to a convention and go have
Ryan and I could not ride a seesaw together. I'd be on the ground and he'd be fucking going crazy.
Be stuck in the air.
His little legs kicking.
Hey. I got T-Rex arms and T-Rex legs.
Oh, shit. All right. But that's enough about us. You fuckers.
Like a big angry toddler.
Yeah, you fuckers know who we are and what we're about, so we're going to get into some silly shit here.
Yeah, man. So tonight's going to be a fun episode. We got a good friend of ours, and a good friend of the show, horror fan member, and it's great to have conversations with people like you. And, we have a great topic tonight. We're going to get to a few different things, but I've been on an alien kick lately.
And that's so funny. And it's so weird because we haven't even talked to each other about that, but I've been on fucking going down rabbit holes on aliens and fucking different shit.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
I got a few things I want to fucking talk about, and even more that we probably couldn't even get into. But, I mean, just so much. And then, we'll probably talk about some cryptids and some hauntings and some movies.
Yeah,
We're going to talk about all kinds of shit. And then maybe DA will join the conversation here, too. So, DA, what's your thoughts on aliens?
I've long believed that there's got to be other intelligent life out there, but at the same time, I've always figured we were the Arkansas of the universe, and they locked their doors when they went by the.
Roll up their windows and lock their doors.
Yeah. Don't get too close; you'll catch it.
Kind of like going to the city.
Shit. Well, this is like, we're the Florida of the fucking universe.
The galactic internet, you just search
fucking retirement community. What?
Oh, dude, Florida's either full of old people or full of people partying. There's
you get old people that party, and you really got something there.
Hell yeah! So,
Jimmy Buffett, man.
Yeah,
he'll party till he's dead.
That's fun. Well, it's not really horror related, but it's alien related. I took the family out and we went and watched the new Avatar in 3D.
Ooh, yesterday. Avatar.
Watched it. It was in 3D yesterday, and we watched it yesterday. It was pretty fucking good.
Was it?
Pretty fucking good.
I'll wait till it comes out on video. Probably.
Well, my wife really wanted to watch it. She loved the first one,
Oh, really?
And really, honestly, I didn't take it for myself or the kids. Really, I took it for her because she really wanted to watch it. The boys, they got halfway through and they're like, "Fucking, it's a giant theater. Let's run around."
Yeah.
It's like, "Hey, we got to pee." It's so funny. They peed like, I don't know, 8 times in the 3 hours we were there. Now, granted, it's a 3-hour movie, right? So I understand. However, they sit at the house, they'll sit in fucking bed for 8 hours straight and watch something and not even get out of the fucking bed.
Yeah.
For 8 hours.
Yeah, and that's something they're interested in as opposed to what you're interested in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So my
wife,
wife,
there with my boys.
My wife really loved it.
And you heard what he said. He did it for his wife, so we know what Ryan was interested in.
Yes.
And it wasn't The Shape of Water.
Yeah, The Shape of Water.
Which
But
was
any-
a fucked up movie.
Yeah, don't give me fucking
Get an R
excuses
rating.
on that one. Like, that's another
Jesus.
alien movie. No,
My wife, she really wanted to watch that, and like fucking 5 minutes into the movie, you got some chick masturbating in the fucking bathtub, and she's like, "What the fuck?"
like, yeah, honey, you what kind of movie you got us
I
watching?
was like, "Right on, honey." Here we go.
Oh, but anyways, so yeah, I've been watching a lot of. It's funny. What got me into the whole aliens spiel is two things really. I started watching X-Files again, as
Right.
I told you
Right.
before. So I'm like on season 6 now, so that really got me into it and stuff. But then I also been listening to some of the interviews that Joe Rogan's had some people on that are like fighter pilots and stuff like that. Different ones that have been talking about some things, and you know. We've all, I think, at least us three here, and I'm sure most other people who listen to this show and stuff like that are quite aware that there's no way we're the only thing out there. We're not the only
No, we can't
intelligent
be.
life anywhere. Now, what's cool about this is that, you know, everybody's like, well, if they had to travel so long to get here, how did that much more advanced and this and that and blah, blah. My thing is, I don't think that, I don't think that they necessarily have to travel as far as you think. I think it's more of a portal. Do you know what I
Yes.
mean? It's like
Yes.
a boom and a bam. You're here, now you're there.
They've been talking a lot about that, about kind of the best way to describe it is wormholes in space.
Yeah, holding space.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've been NASA has actually been talking a lot about that here lately, about how you can warp space and time. Mm-hmm. And so you guys got to look at it like this. The aliens that are out there are millions and millions of years farther advanced than we are.
Yeah.
So if we're starting to figure some of this stuff out, they've known about it for millions of years and have perfected it. Mm-hmm. Here's one of the big things that I look at how much we have grown as a
Species.
a community, a life form in the past 50 years.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's crazy that how far science has pushed us, and I'm not going to say it's just science. I'm going to be honest with you. I've been watching a lot of Ancient Aliens
So have
here
I.
lately.
So have I.
Got to give it up for Giorgio Tesalak. That guy is got the biggest hair of any scientist I've ever seen in my life.
And the greatest memes.
Yeah. But he's been he's been into this stuff for a long time, and I've been watching a lot of and of course he's the one that does the Ancient Aliens. It's really crazy. Just this morning, I was watching one about ley lines and how you've got all these big places, like Stonehenge and Karnak and Machu Picchu, even stuff like Chichen Itza and the Great Pyramids of Giza. They all seem to lay on these ley lines. And some of the major points, like Stonehenge, is at a cross of two ley lines. And they actually map this out and geographically, and also through geometry. They built a map around the world, and every one of these major points of interest is on one of these ley lines or an intersection of ley lines.
Yeah.
You've really got to start wondering what's going on. And some of this stuff, it was so funny watching this episode this morning. They were talking about all kinds of stuff, and one of the things that was going through my head was, of course, Ancient Aliens, they talk about the ancient Jesus, drew a blank.
Anunnaki?
No. Astronauts.
Oh, okay.
And,
Ancient astronauts. Yeah.
and when you look at... I just killed myself. Oh, there we go. My headphones went out, and I was like, oh, my God. I lost my voice.
I've gone deaf.
Yeah, whenever you look at some of these places actually look like they could have been either landing sites, or what I was thinking of is what if these are like beacons, like
Reference points.
like map coordinates or whatever. And what if, and this is going really far out there, what if these aliens are using Earth is kind of like a
Gas station.
kinda,
Yeah.
but like a stepping stone, like a marker.
Galactic red stop.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just really crazy when you think about things that you can only see from the sky. You know, the Nazca lines. You know, different things like that. What if these aliens are actually using the Earth as a waypoint, as a marker? You know, like around here, we tell people, "Oh yeah, you want to get to my house? Just go down until you see the dead tree and make a left, and then when you see the cow at the fence, make a right." Well, maybe they're using the Earth and these geographic spots on the Earth as actual markers, like map icons.
Yeah, right.
Navigational beacons.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, DA?
Yeah, it's entirely possible. I mean, you know, they postulated multiple reasons why alien civilizations would visit us. One, they were either interested in our development and wanted to study us, or two, they wanted our resources. But you know, the using us as a reference point, or even maybe like a refueling station, very well could be, because if they're running advanced gravitics, they might run off something as simple as hydrogen. And they would need water to separate the hydrogen molecules so that this planet's rich in water.
Right.
Yeah, or even nuclear. You know, nuclear power itself is, you know.
Well, and how do we know that they're not running off of some magnetic propulsion and they're using our magnetic field to recharge their battery?
I think
per
that
se?
I think I'm a firm believer in the portal thing. I'm a firm believer that they don't necessarily need to travel as far as we think.
Right. Right.
But I also am a firm believer that I think that, you know, and this may be a little crazy for some of you guys, I don't know, but for me, I think that different beings have been here for a long time and they're still here.
Yeah.
And they're doing, you know, just kind of like the movie They Live, kind of, you know. They're cloaked and they can, you know, blend it. They've spent these years blending in with us, and you know,
Well, it only makes sense. I mean, look at you know, you were just mentioning ley lines. How would these primitive societies have known where the ley line was?
Yeah, exactly. There was a story about the Pueblos, how they built these big, I want to say cities, but they were their little communities or whatever, and they built these communities all the way through Canada and the United States and down into Mexico. And when they really started looking at these from the air, they realized that every one of these communities had a major site that laid on the exact same ley line. So if you look at it on a map, it's a perfectly straight line all the way through all these major sites for the Pueblos. Now, and these Pueblos were thousands of miles apart and had never talked to each other. How did they know to build that stuff in that particular spot? You know, have you guys looked into any of the keyhole stuff? Have you seen any of that?
You know what? I have. I know. I have. It's just been a minute, but I do know kind of what you're talking about.
That's another interesting thing. I don't know if you've looked at that, DA, but there are numerous places that there are these keyhole shapes all over the Earth, and some of them, there's a lot of them over in Japan. They were purposely built. They didn't just appear that way. They were purposely built. Like in Japan, they built a huge one. It's I don't remember what they call it, but it's got 3 moats that go around it, and it was like a burial site. And when I say huge, I'm talking something the size of the state of Missouri.
Wow.
Not quite. not quite that big, but I mean,
Maybe
pretty damn
Rhode
big.
Island.
They're big enough you can see them from space. Well, what's cool is they've got this huge keyhole shape, and then you can see little smaller ones all around the city. You know, and you can only see them from space and satellite views, but they're also all over the world. Like there's one in India that was built. They don't even know when it was built, but it's basically it's got a well at the bottom of it, and it's a staircase. And if you look at it from the air, it's a perfect keyhole shape. And whenever they went to investigate this thing, they realized that like the construction of this, the blocks that they use for this are like perfectly joined together with no mortar or anything, and you couldn't slide a piece of paper in between them.
Right.
I mean, they're just perfectly square cut, you know, and this thing was built thousands of years ago. There's several more other places, but then there's also different, you know, key-shaped patterns. The Egyptians used a lot of key-shaped patterns in their hieroglyphics and stuff. And it even goes as far as whenever we sent the rover to Mars, the orbiter was taking pictures of the landscape of Mars, and they found a perfect keyhole shape on Mars. So I don't know what these keyholes are for, but there's got to be something to them.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there's got to be something to that is something directed towards the heavens.
Yeah, you know, and so I mean, if you think about, like you're talking about how kind of they use this place as a next stepping stone or a map or, you know, something like that. I think it's kind of like you would do if you think about like a pit stop, kind of like you were talking about a little bit there, DA. It's like a pit stop, you know. But also, maybe the Earth is more special than we think. Maybe our resources and maybe us as humans. This is something I've been really getting into, you know, like how special human beings are. And, you know, how, like, I think that whoever is in, you know, you hear about people controlling the earth, making everybody fight each other, and everyone's arguing, they're keeping everybody against each other and all this kind of stuff. But I think that they're trying to just cover up how freaking, you know, how important we are and how great human beings are and what we can be and our potential and everything like that. And our energy, like our life force, I think that our life force, our aura, our soul, whatever you want to call it, I think it's very important to the universe.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know, which leads into
energy can neither be created nor destroyed.
Right.
So when you die, that energy's got to go somewhere.
Yeah, and I think that our energy is basically like supercharged energy. Like our souls, our spirits, whatever it is like a supercharge. It's kind of like, you know, getting into like, I don't know, like, you know, the Matrix type stuff, how they're using, or even, have you seen that movie, Jupiter Ascending?
Yes.
You know, like that, our power feeds and our source of energy feeds and powers the different places or different things in the universe. You know, which I think is important. I think that I just think that we don't understand or realize how important we really are. And when I hear people talk about it, we kind of us joking about it, you know, but a lot of people actually think this way, that, you know, oh well, why would aliens want to come here, dude? We're just ignorant. They probably drive by here, kind of like you said, you know, they drive by and lock the doors and just keep going. Maybe not. Maybe we are very important.
Well, and I kind of have had a theory that maybe the aliens are coming here to push us forward. Mm-hmm. Like I said earlier, look at everything we've done in the last 50 years.
Right. Exactly.
You know?
Like during the time of the moon landing, a computer back then filled a room. The old ENIAC systems were massive,
Yes.
and now we've got more computing power in a cell phone
Yep.
than they had to use the entire lunar landing.
Right.
Then yeah, exactly. And then you do have like the theories of that ancient races were, like you got Atlantis, got to be so powerful that it kind of just destroyed itself,
Yeah.
And who knows what's going on with the world today, man? Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe we're getting ready to go into that again, where it's just, I think there's a lot more going on than we know.
Right.
And I think
Right.
that it doesn't have to be one or the other. It could be many things all in once. It could be certain types of aliens or other beings want us to do good, and certain type of other ones don't want us to do good. So they're coming down to help, or they're coming down to hinder, or both. And I think honestly that they are here already, and they are around. And they're out in the open. They're just kind of hidden or cloaked, as you would say. They've learned to adapt to being down here, and that's what you get. It goes one way or the other.
Yeah.
I think you've got both good and bad in that.
Correct.
Like the story that refuses to die about after World War II, about President Eisenhower making a treaty with aliens to allow them to take so many people a year in exchange for technology. So, whether or not that story is true or not, it's impossible to say, but it's still, this story persists.
Yes.
And you hear it from multiple sources. I don't know if they're quoting each other or if they've just got their own source of information themselves.
Right.
But this story continues to circulate.
And this is where I was getting, this kind of goes into what I was talking about with our souls and our spirits, our energy being so powerful that maybe, so speaking on that theory that people have talked about, I've heard people say, oh, well, why the hell? Well, okay, we're going to trade you guys so aliens can do some probing and some investigating. After a certain amount of time, they're going to know.
Probing time.
Yeah, they're gonna know what they need to know about us. I don't think it's that. I think it's that here you can take this amount. That's like me going up to you, hey buddy, you can have this amount of gas for this amount of money.
Yeah.
You can have this amount of gas for this amount of whatever I'm trading you for. I think that they use us as fuel, or our souls, our spirit, our energy, our aura fuels something or gives them power or life, and that's what the trade-off is. Maybe it is part of like a maybe this is like a fucking giant gas station for them.
Yeah,
and that's why you see so many people go missing and they never know where the fuck.
Yeah, the missing 411s. Yeah. Here's a thought. How do we know how do we know, honestly, that they didn't put us here?
Right. Well, I don't see, and this is my thing. So not getting too deep into it, but just kind of have to mention it but religion, there's too many native tribes, ancient cultures, all that stuff, who have the same sort of stories.
Right.
And hieroglyphics and things. And like, I can't remember how old it was, but they got an inside cave markings that are like the exact solar system in order.
Yeah.
Where the fuck would they get that from?
Yeah, how do they know that?
And maybe they didn't. Maybe they did put us here, but maybe they didn't. This is where I'm at, man. It's kind of crazy because I'm like, I think humans are more special than we think, and then we give credit to, And I think that they know that. I think some want to help us. I think some don't want to help us. And it's just a cosmic battle. You know what I mean?
Well, and like you said, with the ancient cave drawings and stuff, I mean, if we did, evolve from tadpoles, maybe these aliens have been here and kind of showed us the way. You look at how some of these massive structures that were built tens of thousands of years ago, or even 5,000 years ago, how would we have been able to do that? There was a place in, what was it? Bacharach Valley, I think is what it's called. over in oh Jesus. Anyway, the Romans had built a temple there, and it was a massive temple, columns that were 65 feet tall. You know, the reason why I bring this up is in the foundation of that temple, there are 3 stones, and these stones are, if I remember this right, they were 45 feet long, 12 feet tall, and 14 foot wide. Each stone weighed 88 tons.
Damn.
Okay? They are in this foundation, and they are cut perfectly rectangular. I mean, they're all 3 of them are together in this foundation with a bunch of other stones around them, but all 3 of them are together, and they are like perfectly sized together, 20 feet in the air in this foundation.
Yeah, how the fuck that happened?
Exactly. How, you know, in the stones, they say that these stones came from a quarry that was 10 miles away.
Jeez.
Right.
There's no way that, I'm sorry, I don't care who you are, there is no way humans 5,000 years ago could have quarried this rock
Perfectly.
and moved it 10 miles and then lifted it 20 feet in the air.
Moving a rock that big without breaking it today.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to fathom. And so what they were doing is they would build these massive temples, but everywhere where they built these massive temples, there was thousands of years before that, there was another temple in that site. And so they would build on top of the foundations of these temples. And this particular temple, it was... it could have possibly been a landing site.
Right.
Because the way it was built, it would have been a perfect launch pad for a spacecraft. You know, it was a perfect rectangle, and it would have held the weight.
Right. And see, and that's my whole thing is...
And then Solomon built his temple on top of it.
So, and this is where I get into, like, with everything else... there are certain things that I know just from being human and doing research and looking into certain things, you know, and just learning history is that for some reason humans are a warring species. We love to fight, you know, or seem like we're always ready to fight.
What's mine is mine and what's yours is mine.
Yeah, we struggle.
You know?
We like the struggle of it. It seems like...
struggle is real.
it seems like there's always been a battle to be had.
Yeah.
And it seems like that's what we like. All humans...
We're hardwired to overcome obstacles.
Yes. And especially when it comes to, it seems like battling. It seems like, so almost, whether it's a horror movie, if it's a horror movie, it's the fight between good and evil. If it's a sci-fi movie, Star Wars, it's a fight between good and evil. It's
the dark and the light.
The dark and the light. And I think that is what's going on. I think, like I said, I think there's an ancient battle that constantly rages and goes. And you know, you have your stuff with like Odin fighting the Greek gods, the Norse gods, all these people. There's these constant battles going on, and maybe it all is real.
Oh, well, speaking of that, by the time this comes out, happy Saturnalia. You know, but which brings me to my point, which is kind of going to lead into, you know, like cryptids and things like that. Yeah,
Bigfoot. Yeah. Why we see Bigfoot and why people think that, you know, this is where we can get we can get DA finally talking. But, you know, just the whole point of, it's kind of like that's their... maybe Bigfoot as we see it, Sasquatch, whatever you want to call it, is just another form of being that comes through here through a portal to do whatever research, to battle, maybe something we don't see, which is everything, like Dogman. All these things we see could be fucking,
Bigfoot comes down here and he says, "Oh, hey, there's Stonehenge. I need to make a left. But while I'm here, I need to poop."
But yeah, what are your thoughts? I know you've been doing some Bigfoot shit lately, DA. I've been watching your stuff, and so what do you think about that?
There's a lot of people that think Bigfoot and Dogman may be extra dimensional, they may be supernatural in origin, and since none of us know for sure, and all we really have is theory on this, I can't say with any definitive statement that those beliefs are wrong. We know portals exist. CERN created one.
Right.
So it's not like we could say portals aren't a thing. They can't happen because we know they can. But I tend to lean toward most cryptids being physical creatures. Maybe that's just the cop in me from being a cop for all those years. But I think that we've got an uphill challenge just to prove it's an existent species without adding on. It comes from other dimensions. It can turn itself invisible. It can use telepathy. It's tough to explain any kind of mystery with another mystery. Until we can even prove the existence of these creatures, it's going to be tough to add anything else to it. My only thing is I think that Bigfoot is a North American ape. And if you look at the great apes around the world, be that chimpanzees or orangutans or gorillas, none of them go through portals or talk to people in their mind or turn invisible. So I think it's only, and humans can't do it either. So if the Bigfoot is somewhere on the genetic scale between us and apes, then there's really no reason to think that it would get that from either side of the species. But again, this is all theory. I could be completely wrong.
Oh yeah.
But I think we're going to find that most of the creatures we believe are as cryptids have some sort of basis in human reality. For example, when you mentioned Dogman, there's a term called cynocephaly. It basically means having the head of a dog, a humanoid body with the head of the dog. And that comes from the term cynocephalus, which we get that from the Greeks and the Romans, who said that they encountered and battled these dog-headed warriors in northern Africa and in India. Even today in India, there are mountains and valleys up in the north part of India that they tell people not to go to because these dog-headed societies still exist. Marco Polo, Christopher Columbus, both mentioned these cynocephaly creatures on their journeys. They appear in both their journals. And then we've got Catholic iconography. Saint Christopher is known as the dog-headed saint. In most early Catholic iconography, he appears in full Catholic raiment with the head of a dog. And it was said that after he completed his first miracle, that he was transformed and became human. But we've got these. Like I said, the cynocephaly, we've got these references throughout history that go back far longer than anything on record. Even back to ancient Babylon, they talked about a creature that it was massively hairy, a big beast. Then in the Bible, you've got the lion men of Judah, where it talks about men with the head of lions. So this isn't anything new. Ancient Egypt had two different dog-headed gods. You had Anubis, which everyone knows about, being the head of a jackal, and then his brother Wepwawet, which had the head of a wolf. And both of them were associated with the underworld. So could there be supernatural or even, extraplanar or extra dimensional ties? Sure, it's entirely possible. But considering how long the sightings of these creatures go back in history, I think we're looking at something that is flesh and blood just as much as we are.
Well, and I don't think that they're necessarily not one and the same. I think that as far as speaking of like being, interdimensional, but also being a physical thing, I think that's what I'm talking about. I think that they can come. It's not necessarily that they make
They
themselves.
come and go.
They come and go,
Yeah.
so that they're physical when they're here, but then a portal can open and they can go.
Right.
You know?
Well, and that's like so. And we got to give you props for introducing us to Jessica.
Yes.
When we were talking to her, she was talking about these portals in the woods where the trees grow in circles and stuff. You know, how do we know that they're not using something like that to move? We've brought this up before. My whole and don't get me wrong, my whole problem with Bigfoot is how come we haven't ever found a body? How come we haven't ever found bones?
Well,
But on the other side of that is maybe we have.
yeah, well, Gigantopithecus. You know, that's what they believe. I think we talked about
Yeah.
before.
Oh, yeah.
Gigantopithecus. You know, that has been found. The bones or
giant
whatever.
skeletons have been unearthed all over the globe.
Yes.
There's literally thousands of cases of giant skeletons being unearthed here in the United States, and they're generally snatched up by the government or the Smithsonian and never heard from again.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
I've heard about that. I think as
The giants of Lovelock Cave in Lovelock, Nevada. This was a race of giants that the Native Americans said they got tired of them hunting them and eating them, so they trapped them in a cave and they set a fire at the mouth of the cave that they couldn't get through, and the smoke and the fire burned up the oxygen inside the cave and killed these things. The giant skeletons were found and they were put on display in a museum in Lovelock, Nevada. They were there for years. There are lots of pictures that exist of these giant skeletons. Then one day, people from the Smithsonian showed up and told the museum at Lovelock, hey, we'd like to take these to study them. So they said, okay, well, the museum at Lovelock still has the receipt, but the Smithsonian claims they never received it.
Yeah, see, and that's like with everything. That's like, probably gonna get fucking banned for this, but that's just like with the Hunter Biden laptop. You know, people tend to people forget very quickly anymore. I feel like it's easy for someone. The news cycles go so quickly that something that's very real and very much happened can just disappear.
People pick and choose what they want to believe. And
Exactly.
That's the
Exactly.
problem. It's like, with everybody wanting to ban history. History's not there to make you happy or sad. History's there for you to learn from.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And if it makes you uncomfortable, all the better. Then you're not going to want to repeat
it.
the
Yes.
mistakes we've made in our past.
Right.
Does that mean we need to, celebrate our past as being, this great accomplishments? Well, there are a lot of great accomplishments down through human history. There's also a lot of tragedy down through human history. But we study our history and we embrace our history because it's where we came from. If
Right.
you don't study where you've been, you're going to repeat that process in the future.
Right.
Yeah, you're doomed to repeat it. You know, if you don't learn from it, you're doomed to repeat it. You know, and I just think that. But speaking on the cryptid things and all that, I think that they are very much a physical thing that is here, and I think that I don't know. I believe that they are here, just like I believe there's different types of aliens that are here, and I think that they can also move around. I'm a dimensionals guy. I'm a dimension guy. We already talked about that, So I'm a firm believer that they can move back and forth, and they figured out a way to be able to do that. Sometimes they get stuck here. Sometimes they don't. I've been reading recently, and I know you've probably seen this too, DA. On the Dogman Facebook page, they were talking about some recent attacks. These people have been attacked by, they said, wild dogs have been killing these people. There's been like 3 people, I think, that have been killed in the last few months or something like that. And they said it's a group of wild dogs, but these people are like freaking mutilated beyond,
Wow.
Right. Well, the case of here in Missouri just happened a couple of months ago. That Amazon driver that was mauled.
Yes.
They killed the dogs. They claimed they were responsible, but they've never released a necropsy saying those dogs had tissue. And I know a friend of a friend who knows the coroner in Ray County, Missouri, and the coroner in Ray County had never seen a body that torn up in his career.
Wow.
And that's happened recently. Like I said, that would be 3 or 4 cases that I've seen in the last few months.
Mm-hmm.
So what is that? You know,
Could be anything. I mean,
That's my point.
honestly, I mean, look at where we're at. I mean, mid Missouri, we've got the Ozark Howler.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, could be Bigfoot, could be one of those crazy chupacabras wandered up from Texas or something.
Could be a meth head.
Goat sucker. or it could be your neighbor.
The chupacabra phenomenon has only been around for like the last, I don't know, 40 years when they started reporting them in Puerto Rico.
Uh-huh.
There's been sightings of the Ozark Howler back as early as 1808.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy, the stuff that you hear about,
Well,
and then the stuff that you don't hear about.
that's my whole point.
Right.
There's just too much. I often think that if they're making
Wires cramping my style over here.
if they're making it a point to not tell you what's going on, then there's something behind. That's like, so just throw this out there as a reference. That's like with the JFK thing. They just sealed the damn documents again for another 75 years
Yeah.
on the JFK assassination.
Yeah, why would they do that?
For another
Because
75 years.
Yeah, it makes no
literally
sense.
everybody that was involved in that's probably dead.
Right.
So why would they?
Because it probably
why would it matter?
indicates, exactly. That's my point. So if it doesn't smell right, then it probably ain't right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It doesn't pass a smell test or the eye test, then something's not right.
Right.
I'm a firm believer of trusting my gut, and when something just doesn't make sense, I'm like, what the fuck? That doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
And that's like with the whole freaking. God dang it! I'm just gonna get us banned completely already this year.
Do it.
So it's just like with the COVID thing.
New year, new band.
With the COVID shots thing, they sealed those documents too for like I think 65 years. The internal investigation they ever did or whatever.
I
Why
hadn't
would
heard
they do
about
that? If they got nothing to hide, why would they do that?
That's my point. Like, why? What's the point? It just does not make a bit of fucking sense to me. And that's because they're hiding something from you. I mean, it's just common sense, But back into what we were talking about.
Has anybody thought about why the news doesn't talk about COVID anymore?
Yeah. Honestly, bro, I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't watched TV in 4 years.
Okay, so I watch the news all the time, and they don't really talk about COVID anymore. But I'm telling you right now, the hospital's still full of people with COVID and flu right now.
Well, it's flu season. My point is this.
Before the Black Plague of the 21st century hit us, people were dying by the thousands every year from flu already.
Right.
Yeah,
And not only that, but
the number, when you look at the numbers, they're really not that different.
yeah, and from what I understand too, is
Well, and a
that-
lot of the numbers that they were throwing out there were like,
skewed.
oh, Johnny was involved in a car accident. Oh, but he may have had COVID, so we're going to put him down as a COVID death.
Yeah, a lot of the numbers.
I mean, I'm serious.
Yeah, no,
They did
100%.
that a lot.
But
it was crazy.
And that's my point. Like, and that's like now, like I know a lot of nurses and stuff, a lot of nurses. And what they're not telling you too is that have you seen all the people dying, just killing over from heart attacks and blood clots and shit like that? I'm talking about athletes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about
I've heard
people
about that.
Dude.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more to all that. And they're not telling you. They keep shit hidden. And if you want someone to trust you, you can't lie. Just
They're
be
thinning
honest.
the crowd.
Right.
Well, that's one point. That's 100% one. But look at China, man. I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh, yeah.
holy shit, bro. The shit they're doing there. And that's my whole point, man, is that, like, if they're keeping it, don't take this the wrong way. I'm not a flat earther, okay? But I don't understand why they ban people on YouTube and shit like that who are flat earth accounts.
Oh, I didn't know they were doing that.
Oh yeah, they're
Oh, nice.
really like blacklisted.
Maybe they're like, these people are too fucking stupid to have an account.
That. But here's my point, though.
There's our second ban of the year.
But here's my point, though.
Get them all out of the other way right now.
Shit, DA, I'm sorry you're associated with this right now.
We're going to change
Don't worry, I
that.
was already on the list. I was a cop.
Yeah. Well, my thing is this though: if that's the case, then what does it matter? If they're stupid and they're dumb
Yeah.
and they have nothing to hide,
Yeah.
it's no big deal. Why ban them?
Right.
Doesn't make sense to me. Do you know what I'm saying? And not that I really care because I don't really give a shit either way. If the Earth is flat, round, a fucking pentagon, I don't give a shit.
Why the hell ban the Horror Chronicles for a picture of Jeffrey Dahmer?
Yeah,
Come on.
exactly.
You guys
We
got
all
the
know
ban
who he
for that?
was and what he did.
Oh, they didn't ban us. They completely fucking
killed our page.
Killed our Facebook page.
We
That's
are
why
no,
you don't- that's
yeah,
why-
we're no longer on Facebook.
That's why you don't see us anymore.
They completely deleted our page over a picture of Jeffrey Dahmer.
What the hell does that? Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I'm at a loss.
I tried to fight it, and they just said, "Well, you know, this is your third strike, so we're deleting your page."
In third strike, he means they literally hit us with 3 strikes back to back to back.
Yeah, and what they did is they hit me, or they hit us for the exact same post twice. They hit me once, and I fought it, and they told me that it went against their community standards. So I'm like, okay, then just remove
Yes,
the post. And so they they removed the post, and then a month later they hit me on the post again that they had removed. Yeah,
Wow.
that they had removed, and now and after that I couldn't even fight it anymore. They wouldn't even communicate with me.
Yeah.
So they let our page run out for like a month or something like that, and then they completely deleted it.
Wow.
Yeah. Crazy, dude. Crazy.
Yeah. So we're no longer on Facebook. So hello, Twitter. Now we're going to get banned on Twitter.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
No, I don't know. Some of the stuff I've been posting.
But my point is this though, like it just some things don't make sense to me.
Yeah.
So like that also makes me wonder why now is the government putting out all this stuff about UFOs and ATIP and all this other shit? Why are they doing all this?
they hid that stuff from us for so long, and now they're like, okay, yeah, we know it exists. You know, we're not telling you it's aliens, but we don't know what it is. You know, so I don't know. I don't get it.
I think that we're seeing the government doing what I refer to as soft disclosures, not only in the UFO field, but also in the cryptid field. There are a number of states that have passed hunting regulations against hunting Bigfoot-type creatures. The state of Oklahoma, a couple of years ago, put out a $3 million bounty on one to be brought in alive. As far as I know, nobody's been able to collect the bounty. Because it would be a big deal. But you know, then we've also got the Ohio State Department of Natural Resources released a 5-part video series on what to do if you encountered one. And when I first heard about that, I thought it was just going to be some tongue-in-cheek,
joke.
goofy videos, like when the CDC released that How to Survive a Zombie Apocalypse video.
Yeah,
It was just
yeah.
done tongue-in-cheek. It was a great video, but it was done tongue-in-cheek. The Ohio DNR, it's not.
Yeah.
They're legit videos.
If they would have only known about that zombie video,
No
that was
kidding.
before we heard about bath salts.
Well, then, back in, I think it was 2019, that very quietly, I don't remember the bill number. I'd have to go do some deep diving again, but it was put before Congress to amend hunting laws to include, and the verbiage said, near human chimeras.
Wow.
Right. And
What's a near human chimera?
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's
When you think about it, it's something that looks kind of like us, but isn't.
right. And you know, they've been doing the shit they've been doing, man. Like as far as like making chimeras, they've been making like weird shit forever. You know, and no one believed it. You know, but my boy AJ, I don't know if you know who that is, but his name's Alex Jones. My boy Alex Jones.
They're making the freaking frogs gay.
I love it, dude. I love him. I love him, dude. But anyways, you know, he talked about that shit years ago. I remember listening to him in '96 talking about how they're fucking making like human something primate or hybrids and this and that. And he's like, they've been doing this shit. They've been growing like humanoid things inside cow stomachs because they're big enough to be able to let the humanoid
Let the embryo
for years,
develop. Yeah.
over years. And shit like that, and nobody believed anything, and shit keeps coming out and coming out and coming out, you know? It's like, if he says something, I mean, you can guarantee within the next 10 years, something's going to come out of fucking about what he was talking about, you know?
Well, that didn't pass about the chimeras, but it was actually brought before Congress.
Right.
Which makes you wonder, what were they trying to slip in there?
Yeah, what were they thinking?
Right,
Exactly.
Huh.
And who knows what's been already made and put out there.
Yeah.
Maybe
Exactly.
some of these cryptids that we see are fucking experiments that went fucking rogue or got loose. You know?
Have I ever told you to my Teddy Roosevelt theory?
I don't think so. I don't
This
think so.
one, this is kind of down the rabbit hole a little bit, if you will indulge me, and maybe line your hats with a little bit of tinfoil.
Oh, I'm already there, bro. It's built in my skin.
All right. Well, one of the earliest accounts recorded of a Bigfoot attack was recorded in Teddy Roosevelt's book, The Wilderness Hunter. It's called the Bauman Incident. It's kind of infamous among cryptozoologists or anybody that's really into Bigfoot. The Bauman Incident is a fairly famous story. And in this story, he details about two trappers who go up into a valley up in, I believe it's in either Montana or Wyoming. They've been trying to narrow down where exactly the valley was, but we know it's somewhere up in that area. They go up in this valley where the Native Americans were like, "Don't go up there. You don't. It's a dangerous place. Don't go up there." Well, these guys saw lots of beaver signs, so they went up there and ran their traps. They were only up there for a couple of days when they started having problems with this big hairy creature that was coming into their camp at night. And when they finally started really getting threatened by this thing, they decided it was time to get out. Well, one of the guys went back to camp, and the other guy, Bauman, went out to retrieve all the traps. And by the time he made it back, he found his friend had already been killed. It had giant fang marks in his neck, and his neck had been crushed. So he hears this thing coming. He basically just drops his gear and leaves. But the thing about this story is that I find so compelling is the level of detail that's in this story. I've interviewed dozens and dozens and dozens, probably hundreds of people over the years that have had Bigfoot sightings, and a lot of them Missouri hillbillies like us. You don't get that level of detail out of them. Pulling that level of detail out of them is like pulling teeth. You might get a location, you might get a rough description of the campsite, but you're not going to get told what kind of trees were in the area, how they put their traps out. The level of detail in this Bauman story is incredible. And because of this level of detail, I believe that Bauman was, in fact, Teddy Roosevelt when he was a young man, that he had a violent encounter with a cryptid, and because he still had political aspirations, that he didn't want to go on record saying, "Hey, I got chased out of the mountains by a monster that wasn't supposed to exist." They'd have thought he was crazy, and he never would have got elected.
Right.
So, if you can accept that Teddy Roosevelt himself was Bauman, you flash forward to President Teddy Roosevelt, and one of the first things he does is create the National Park Service and cordon off millions upon millions of acres that we still don't have full access to.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. Makes perfect
He
sense.
knew these things were out there, and he was setting aside massive amounts of land to where hopefully they would stay and leave us alone.
I mean, it makes sense. Otherwise, why would he do that with the land?
Right.
You know? I mean, that's not too far-fetched for me to believe. There's a lot of things that people don't want to be known if they have aspirations of being whatever, politics or whatever it may be, president. I think that a lot of people. So with the invention of the internet, I think that people see less and less things now. And that's simply because they don't go out as much. People are in a lot. You know what I mean? If you talk to people who are now, a lot of people who are out in the woods a lot, like a lot of hunters, some of the people that I heard of and I hear talk about things, I know they're in the woods a lot. They like live in the fucking woods all the time, deep in BC and all that stuff like that, you know, where you would probably see something like that. They haven't claimed to see anything. You know, they say, hey,
in some of those cases, I think there's still a hesitation to come forward on stuff like this. Yeah, I know lots of people that have spent their lives hunting and fishing in the woods of Missouri and haven't seen anything. But I've also talked to some guys who were lifelong hunters who refused to set foot in the woods again after they saw one. I've taken very credible accounts from cops, a couple firefighters I know, and even a judge who told me, "I'll tell you this story, but you are to never mention my name associated with this because it will ruin my career."
Right.
But they had legit terrifying sightings that I believe were 100% credible, not just because of what these guys did, but because of what they risked in just telling me the story.
You know, one of the guys that I really respect and trust what he says, because he seems like he hasn't ever seemed to like let me down or make me feel a certain way that he's lying or something.
That's me.
You always let me down. But but this guy I listen to, and I think he's tells the truth a lot, and it's Les Stroud.
I like Les Stroud.
You know, he talks about he didn't see a Bigfoot, but he talks about, you know who Les Stroud is, right? Survivor Man.
Oh, yeah.
Les Stroud.
Okay.
So he's legit. He's legit as it comes as far as being out in the woods stuff. Plus, he's a big time musician. He's awesome. I respect the guy a lot, and he doesn't really fucking feed you bullshit.
Okay.
He's not a bullshitter type person. And he was doing an interview on Joe Rogan, and he was talking about, Joe was asking about it, you know, because he's got that Les Stroud, Survivor Man Bigfoot or whatever, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And he told Joe, he's like, listen, man, I never seen anything. He's like, if I can tell you that I was in the woods, they may have been in BC, I can't remember, British Columbia, but he said that one night he definitely heard an ape. He heard something. He heard some knocking. He came out of his tent, was looking around, and he got it on video of him, you know, saying, hey, listen, he hears an ape. He said it sounded like an ape. And he was trying to find it, trying to knock back, trying to get the communication. He's like, I can tell you where I was at, there should be no apes there. He's like, and I can promise you that I heard an ape out there. So that I trust.
People talk about vocalizations and tree knocks. I don't think you've got Bigfoot creatures running around the woods carrying around a Louisville slugger so they can rap out communication from a distance. Right. I think they do it with their mouth.
Right.
I think it just sounds like it. I mean, listen to this. I can do a pretty loud one.
Yeah.
And that'll travel for quite some distance in the woods. I've done it. I learned it when I was a kid. I don't even remember what caused me to learn to do it. But I just picked up how to do it, and I can do it pretty loud. Imagine, something that's basically 4 times my body mass and probably 3 or 4 times my lung capacity doing that.
Well, dude, there's a group called it's what's it called? A cappella group called Home Free.
Mm-hmm.
And they got a guy on there. He does all the noises. He makes like fucking harmonica noises. He makes all kinds of noises, but he makes loud knocking noises. He can do all that shit. So yeah, very much welcome.
It's like Michael Winslow.
Yeah,
from Police Academy.
Exactly. But yeah, guarantee you. I mean, I can definitely see that it would be something made out of their mouth for sure. And
I think it makes more sense than them, carrying around a Louisville slugger or having to hunt up a
stick.
particularly hard wood stick that they could just, because if the sound's strong, it's going to take a really hard wood stick to make that sound, because that much power swinging it. You guys, we've all picked up a branch in the woods and hit it against a tree and watched it shatter.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Right. No, I mean, it makes sense to me, and I think that people just kind of, it's just like, I think over the years, just like with deer hunting, you grab yourself a set of antlers and you crack them together and try to get your buck coming in, or whatever. I think people just over time figured out that sound. I can make it with these sticks, and they're just trying. That's their way of trying to get it. That's like a bleat call, for a doe bleat call or something. It's just a way to get him in.
Or turkey calls.
Right. And but yeah, when I heard Les Stroud's probably the most what's the word I'm looking for? Credible, reliable source that I've heard talk about it. Outside of like you and other people, but that I personally know. But as far as someone who is well known and that I personally trust myself, or at least trust what they're saying is true, he's one person I believe, because he didn't make a big story.
Right.
He's just like, I didn't see anything. He's like, but I definitely heard and felt like, there was something big out there. It definitely was an ape. He's like, I know what animals sound like. He's out in the woods constantly, alone by himself. So, yeah. I mean,
some of the worst terrain on the planet.
Right.
And the only time I've ever seen him carry a rifle was in that polar bear episode.
Yes.
Where he was up in the Arctic. Mm-hmm. That's the only time I've ever seen him take a gun.
And you better, bro. Got polar bears around your ass.
Yeah, the only way you're coming out of the Arctic circles is polar bear scat.
Yeah, you'd be all over the fucking Arctic Circle, fucking floating around. Yes, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, man, I mean, now, like we talked about a little bit and stuff like that. We actually talked about it with Jessica as well on her show. We went on her show. But like I guess I had Dogman experience myself, and I didn't really know. But at the time, until we talked to you, and you're like, "Hey, that's a Dogman." I'm like, "Oh shit, okay, I didn't know that."
The most compelling part when you told me that story is the look on your face when you were describing the hand, and I said like a big raccoon's hand, and you were just like, "Oh my god, that's it."
Yeah, I mean it was identical, like a giant raccoon hand.
Yeah. That's cool.
And what's funny about that is that like I had no fucking idea till you were talking about that. And I'm into this shit all the time. I mean, of course but Dogman we never really got too deep into until we like start talking to you and stuff. And then I was like, holy shit, that's crazy, And some of these, I told JT, I don't know if I should say this or not. Fuck it. So I told JT this. The other day. A few months ago. But I'm on all these pages, and I'm on these Dogman pages and shit like that. And I'm trying to be cool, but some of the shit these people come up with, I'm like, look, guys, there's nothing there, bro.
I despise red circle pictures. I refer to it as bullshitography.
Yeah.
I just 99.9999999 ad infinitum times out of 1,000. Somebody posts a red circle picture. It's just a grainy picture of a bush. Yeah. I guarantee you, I can take my cell phone camera, go out to my backyard, and I live in town with a neighbor behind me, but I have a big bush that separates our houses. I could go back to that bush and take a picture of it at a close-up, knowing full well there's just a house on the other side, put a couple red circles on it, throw it on one of these obscure Bigfoot pages or Dogman pages. There'd be 25 people swear they see Bigfoot in these pictures or Dogman in these pictures, and there's nothing there. It's a freaking honeysuckle bush with a house behind it.
Well,
that's that pixelation that we all fucking deal with.
Some of them are pictures of woods, and this guy's got like 5 circles. He's like, look, here, 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 and here. And I'm just like, there's nothing fucking there, bro. Like, so I told JT, I took a picture of my fucking countertop, and it's just a black countertop. It's like a dark gray countertop. I took a picture of it. It's like a dark gray countertop. I'm like, JT, I was like, I'm going to put this up on that Dogman page. Say, tell me I'm not the only one that sees it. And I guarantee you, I'll get like 30 fucking people who are like, dude, that's definitely a Dogman. Definitely a Dogman pack. And I'm just like, fuck. But I try to be cool with most shit. I don't know. It's just hard for me.
I try to keep my mouth shut.
So do I.
You remember the old Max Headroom? The old Max Headroom show?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Had the Art of Noise did that song Paranormia with him.
Yeah.
I took a still from that video and replaced the word paranormia with pareidolia, and I will occasionally drop that on somebody's image.
Dude, I'm telling you, sometimes it's hard for me to freaking keep myself cool. I'm learning though. I'm learning to just not say anything at all. Honestly,
sometimes it's best to just be quiet.
After they deleted our Facebook page, I almost just deleted my Facebook page, my personal one, because the only reason I really get on there I mean, I send stuff for family, but most of the time it's on Facebook just for our Facebook page. And
If I wasn't promoting
Not me.
my
I
books,
like to send you pictures of this is how you summon child support.
I think I know which picture you're talking about.
Yeah, I sent that to Ryan today.
but yeah, you know, I freaking I almost delete everything, but then I'm like, man, I got like DA on there, I got Jessica Jones, I got a lot of people
Right.
that we've met. And I'm like, shit, I can't delete it. Otherwise, I would, you know. But that's how I get in contact with you guys, and you know, I don't want to lose those contacts, and so.
Hey, I want to throw something out there real quick. Just something that popped into my head.
Okay.
I want to say happy anniversary to George and Kathy Lutz. Today, we're recording this on December 18th. That is the day that George and Kathy Lutz moved into 112 Ocean Avenue.
Ocean Avenue.
The Amityville Horror.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
Oh,
They moved in on December 18th. And then
the
fled.
Amityville Horror House.
And then fled 28 days later.
28 days later.
28 days later.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Yeah,
Love it.
great film.
Dude.
It is a good one.
I'm telling you.
Margot Kidder was so fucking hot. Oh my god.
If you haven't
Of course,
watched,
you went insane.
Yeah.
if you haven't watched, I just watched that. Shit. What's the movie?
You just watched it, shit.
I watched it. Shit, guys. I'm a glory hole. But anyways, no. What's the movie with fucking Sam Elliott? The man who killed Hitler and
Bigfoot and then
killed the
killed
Bigfoot.
Hitler and then the Bigfoot.
Yeah.
That's 2 hours of my life I will never get back. That movie sucked so bad.
Holy shit, man.
I saw that, but I have not watched it,
Oh my god.
and now I'll stay away from it.
Yeah, that is time of my life I will not get back. I generally like Sam Elliott. I watched
love
it
him.
because of Sam Elliott.
Yeah, exactly.
But like 30 minutes into that movie, I'm like,
For sure.
I
But yeah,
kept telling myself, surely it's going to get better. It did.
And the Bigfoot sucked.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the Bigfoot looked like a schlock from that movie with the.
Did it look like the new Bigfoot on the Hardee's commercials?
No.
Have you seen that?
Even that Bigfoot looks better.
It looked more like Chaka from Land of the Lost.
Dude.
Oh my god!
Yeah, and it wasn't even that big of a damn Bigfoot.
No,
It's
it was kind of average
It was
size.
a medium foot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
schmedium
just foot.
Yeah, it's a foot. There ain't no big about it. But yeah,
Oh shit!
no man, holy shit! I forgot how fast these fucking shows go on.
Oh, yeah,
once we
absolutely.
Start talking. I cannot believe we've already been on here for over an hour. See, but this is what I'm
it's
talking.
okay.
This is what I'm talking about. I miss this shit. You know, just hanging out. I cannot wait to get to some conventions and together and stuff. We got to go to convention together.
Oh
Yeah,
hell yeah!
absolutely.
I'm gonna look around and see what conventions I got going on this year, and I'd like to do that, man. It'd be
I tell you what, we ought to all try and make the trip to the Haunted America conference again.
Well, yeah, we should do that.
We
and
should take him with
take
us.
DA with us. That'd be
Hell
awesome.
yeah!
Huh?
Definitely. Hell yeah! Definitely.
That is usually in June,
I think.
I think, over in Alton.
And I'm off on weekends now, so we'll be just
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, so we definitely need to set that up.
Are you down
Yeah.
for that?
Hell yeah! Absolutely.
Okay, cool. We'll look into that, and then I don't know if you're gonna want to bring your. We don't bring our wives with us, but if you
Yeah.
want to bring yours, that's cool. Dude,
Well, she loves horror, so.
yeah, this is like a. No, my wife loves horror too. Don't get me wrong, but we'll figure it out. We'll get all the ticket shit figured out, and yeah, we'll set that up, dude. And we'll all
Hell
go.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's in Alton, Illinois, so it's not too bad, you know.
Yeah, it's not too far of a trip.
And I'm off all weekend this time, so we can do.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
You could probably we will look into it, see if maybe we set up a booth for you or something, maybe.
Yeah,
Dude, that would be badass.
You can buy booth space, and then you could take all your books there and sell them.
That would be badass. Yeah, send me the information on it.
Yeah,
That'd be a great
definitely,
one to do.
definitely.
Oh hell yeah, that
Yeah,
sounds like a
that's
great.
that's put on by Troy Taylor every year.
Nice.
And I know you know who he is.
Yeah.
So that sounds like a great fucking time.
Yeah, we went year before last, and it was pretty freaking cool, man.
Yeah, man,
we met all kinds of cool people up there.
I like that shit. Oh yeah, because I definitely want to hook up him and Tobias.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
You'll like him.
Yeah, Tobias Wayland. He's done some books. He's really big into Mothman and Bigfoot.
Badass.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Oh,
man.
which that was another anniversary that came up just the other day. Was the collapse of the Silver Bridge.
Oh yeah, you sent me that. Yes. Yep, from Mothman, the Mothman prophecy.
Yeah, and it was that. What was interesting about that is that whole town had been seeing sightings of Mothman for about a year prior to that bridge collapse. Mm-hmm. And the day the bridge collapsed, there were numerous witnesses that claimed they saw this human-like figure with wings on the bridge.
Hell
There, if you look up Mothman Chicago, there are hundreds of Mothman sightings in Chicago going on just right now.
Yeah.
yeah. Look what's going on in Chicago.
Oh, they're going on now?
Yeah,
Yeah, there's
they've
been a
going
bunch
on
up
for the last
there.
couple of years.
Wow. Crazy.
Right on. Well, hey, we're gonna end the show here, but we're gonna talk to you anyway after we
Okay,
hang up.
cool.
We done. But why don't you go ahead and let everybody know where they can find all your stuff and find you and all that good jazz.
Awesome. You can find all of my books on Amazon or through my own website, which is daroberts.net. You can check out my podcast. It's called DAX Machina. We're on every Wednesday and Saturday night from 8 p.m. to usually 10, 11-ish. You know, we don't only have a final time. We just kind of go roughly 2 hours, depending on how things go. But every Wednesday and Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time, and you can find that on YouTube at DA Roberts Author or DAX Machina Podcast, either one. It'll show up both ways. And if you want to find me on social media, all across all of my social media, it's at DA Roberts Author.
Awesome, guys. Go show them some love and support. Buy his books; they're amazing. All that good stuff, guys. But more importantly, everybody, we love you guys, and sorry it's been so long since we've been on here, guys, but we promise we're back. It's just, you guys know how December goes for us. Anyways,
Yeah.
you know, we love you, horror fan. Thank you for your support as always. But more importantly, as always, until next time, keep it creepy.